decisive leadership, and also we as a country continue to fight this pandemic tooth and nail. On this edition of Tracking COVID, we get you a quick roundup as far as the current situation is considered, where we stand in terms of numbers, plus international trend and the numbers across the globe vis-a-vis COVID-19. I'm Sakal Bhatt, and first up on Tracking COVID-19, here are the headlines. Active COVID-19 cases across India rise to 7,409 with 273 fatalities and 764 recoveries. Government focuses on increasing testing facilities, says no need to panic as government is planning things so as to effectively manage situation. Home Ministry writes to all states and union territories to ensure compliance of Supreme Court directions on welfare of migrant labourers housed at relief shelters. Availability situation of essential commodities under control as several ministries work in coordination with state governments to resolve logistical problems. Government provides 85 lakh LPG cylinders in past 11 days to Ujjwala beneficiaries under Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana. Delivery personnel work tirelessly to provide 50 to 60 lakh cylinders daily. Union Food Minister says there is enough food grain to cater to entire nation, asserts black marketers will be dealt with strictly. Thanks Railways for ensuring supply of 30 lakh megaton of food grain through 1,056 rail tracks. And COVID-19 cases across the world continue to spiral up. 17.8 lakh cases registered globally with over 1 lakh deaths. UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson discharged from hospital, while US reports 2,000 deaths in a single day. And world celebrates Easter amid coronavirus fear. President, Vice President and Prime Minister extend greetings. Prime Minister prays for added strength to successfully overcome COVID-19 and create a healthier planet. And to begin with, here is India at glance, basically the big picture on COVID-19 in terms of numbers in India. Well, with 31 deaths and 918 new positive cases of COVID-19 that have come in the last 24 hours, active cases as of now stand at 7,409, out of which cured or discharged are almost 764 and 273 fatalities, and only one has migrated. Well, remember today we have already entered day 19 of the lockdown, and this is the position. We're almost halfway through the lockdown period. If we take a stock of the situation at the end of 19th day, past 2 weeks, in fact, active cases have crossed 7,000 mark. Today in the government briefing, the exact number is 7,409, out of which 700 plus, which is 764 patients have been cured, and 273 fatalities or deaths since the outbreak of COVID-19. And now let's take a look at the overall picture. And in terms of states, if we talk about Maharashtra, which has been one of the worst affected, confirmed cases here stand at 1,761, out of which 14,000 plus, to be more precise, 1,400, I beg your pardon, 1,426 are active, out of which 208 cases have recovered and 127 deceased. That's the number if we talk about Maharashtra, which also, in fact, happens to be one of the worst affected or infected. Moving on to National Capital Delhi, confirmed cases as of now on day 19 stand at 1,069, out of which 1,025 cases are reportedly active. 25 recoveries so far out of this number and 19 fatalities. fatalities. And also, let's move to the next state. Going down south, Tamil Nadu first. Tamil Nadu has reported 969 confirmed cases, out of which only 44. This is a very small number in terms of recoveries. Active cases out of 969 are 915, out of which 10 have been deceased. So confirmed 969. Then now moving on to Rajasthan. In Rajasthan, active cases are 676 out of 700. Well, this is not a really good picture in terms of numbers. 700 are confirmed, out of which 676 are confirmed. Only 21 recoveries. So here in Rajasthan, the recovery rate is pretty slow, out of which 3 are deceased. This again, as we reiterate, is on day 19. So far, the outbreak of the COVID-19. Now talking about Madhya Pradesh. Now let's take a look at how Madhya Pradesh looks like. 564 confirmed cases, no recoveries so far. That's not a good news. 36 deaths, and active cases out of 564 are 528. Well, this was the picture vis-a-vis Madhya Pradesh. And let's now look again, go a little bit more down in south, talk about Telangana. Telangana has 504 cases, out of which 43 recoveries have been reported so far. 452 out of 504 confirmed cases are reportedly active in Telangana, and 9 deaths there in Telangana. And now coming to Uttar Pradesh, which has been a sort of hotbed for COVID-19 cases. 452 are confirmed, out of which 402 are still active. Recoveries are 45 out of 452 confirmed cases, and 5 deceased. And now Gujarat has 432 confirmed cases, out of which 366 are active. 44 recoveries out of these 432 confirmed cases, and 22 fatalities. We are talking about Gujarat. And again, Andhra Pradesh has 381 active cases, confirmed cases, 381 confirmed cases, and active cases are 364. Not much of a difference when you talk about confirmed cases vis-a-vis active cases, and recoveries have been just 11 in Andhra, again in down south, with 6 reportedly deceased. So this was the picture about Andhra Pradesh, and this is overall a picture. Today, the government says there are 8,447 confirmed cases, out of which more than 7,000, in fact 7,409 are active cases, out of which 765 recoveries have been reported so far, and we've lost 273 COVID positive patients so far. And now let's move on and also talk about today's government briefing. Now, that is very important. In a daily briefing related to COVID-19, we're going to talk about the high points. The Joint Secretary of the Health Ministry, Love Agarwal, in fact, has said that total of 1,86,906 samples, and that's quite a number, have been tested so far, out of which 8,356 have been found positive for COVID-19. And also in the last 5 days, an average of 15,747 samples have been tested per day, and 584 of those were found positive per day as well. He added that the Health Ministry is extra prepared. There's a lot of preparation in place in case of exponential rise in COVID-19 cases, and there is absolutely no need to panic, as government is planning things so as to manage or contain the current situation.
आज की तारीख में हमारे पास मान लीजिए 8,356 पॉजिटिव केसेस हैं। तो जैसे इससे पहले हम लोगों ने बात की है कि इसमें से करीब 20% केसेस जो होंगे वो कि मॉडरेट सिम्टम्स या जिनको आईसीयू सपोर्ट की जरूरत होगी। तो अगर हम उसके हिसाब से इसका विभाग करते हैं तो हम देखते हैं कि आज भी हमारे को 1,671 ऐसे पेशेंट्स होंगे जिनको कि स्पेसिफिकली ऑक्सीजन सपोर्ट या क्रिटिकल केयर ट्रीटमेंट की जरूरत होगी। तो यह फिगर मैं आप लोगों की दृष्टि में इसलिए लाना चाहता हूं कि ताकि हम समझें, कहीं पर कोई भी पैनिक क्रिएट ना हो, कहीं पर प्रॉपर क्लैरिटी रहे कि गवर्नमेंट इज अवेयर, गवर्नमेंट इज प्लानिंग इट्स थिंग्स in being over prepared so as to manage the situation.
And since we've already passed 2 weeks or more than 2 weeks of the lockdown, it's the 19th day today. In the daily briefing, as we just showed you, Joint Secretary also Love Agarwal of the Health Ministry has given the data for the day. Now, at the end of the 19th day, let's also understand where we stand today, the highlights or the high points of the government's press conference today. It's been ensured, the government is trying to ensure that state should make it sure that there is door-to-door delivery of essential commodities. Remember, this has always been the top priority of the government. Curfew passes have also been issued for the suppliers of the essential goods. These are strict instructions coming in that essential commodities supply chain should not, the linkage should not break. And also Cyber Post, which is a portal to tackle cyber crime, especially financial crime, that has also been boosted up, and 80% of the cases are as of now reportedly mild and asymptomatic. The government also said that more than 1 lakh, and that's the number, we're going to flash that number. This is the number of beds that are now available for COVID patients, and this number is also going to likely go up, as well as hospitals and isolation beds have also been increased to the current medical capacity on 24/7 basis, out of which 500 beds are dedicated COVID-19 bed at Safdarjung Hospital. 444 additional ventilators have been provided down south in Andhra Pradesh, which has also in fact seen a sudden spike in these cases, out of which 1200 beds hospital also has been added in Ahmedabad's medical facility. Private hospitals have also been asked to make arrangements like masks. Social distancing also, this is once again reinforced and reiterated that it continues to be an important component. Talking about ICMR, the ICMR maintains that work on developing the vaccine is underway. The work is done on war footing as far as vaccine development is considered. 40% vaccines are under development. 5,000 coaches. Now remember, this is important. The government says 5,000 coaches have been transformed into isolation wards so far, while as 20,000 trained coaches will be transformed into isolation wards in near future. Well, this, in fact, was a quick roundup of the latest that we are getting you as far as the government briefing today is concerned. Remember, it's a daily feature. But also in order to ease the COVID-19 tests, there's a lot of pressure as far as the testing facilities are concerned. Now, a drive-through sample collection center has been set up in Haryana's Gurugram. Now, this initiative was started by Healthian Lab along with the Municipal Corporation of Gurugram. Any person can apply for COVID-19 test by filling their online details. They can fill their details online. The facility has been established in collaboration with the Healthians testing group at Tau Devilal Stadium. One can apply for the test by filling details online, and the patient can drive on own or can be accompanied by another person. Well, it takes about 1 to 2 minutes to collect the nasal or throat swab, and the reports will be given online. Remember, it is compulsory for those who want to be tested for COVID-19 to obtain a prescription from a registered medical practitioner. Well, that is important. Okay, moving on, and in some inspiring news also coming in from Kurnool down south in Andhra Pradesh, an Anganwadi worker helped a pregnant woman in her time of need. Divya Bharti, who was in helpless condition, called Chenamma, a worker at Anganwadi center in the neighborhood. She responded immediately, called on an auto and took Divya Bharti to the Government General Hospital in Nandyal. Her timely intervention, in fact, allowed Divya Bharti to get the medical attention she needed at that point in time. She's delivered now a healthy baby boy while cesarean. Chenamma stayed at the hospital with her for 2 days. Appreciating her efforts, Kurnool District Collector announced cash reward of Rs 20,000 and a certificate of appreciation for Chenamma. And also a COVID-19 cell has been set up at Alapua District Collectorate to monitor quarantine compliance by people and also keep a strict check on their health conditions in real time through interactive voice response system. In COVID control room, technology to reach out to a large number of people to provide the medical advice and assistance. Even in the case of community transmission of COVID-19, the cell can operate from remote areas. District administration is carrying out real-time intersectoral coordination and monitoring in view of coronavirus spread. Dr. Sharat Chandra Bose, in charge of COVID control cell in Alapua, said that all the people in isolation are contacted to know about their medical condition using IVR technology.
It's not possible to call each and every one of them every day and inquire for the development of symptoms. So we decided to implement the IVR system, the interactive voice response system, through which we can reach out to 10,000 people in maybe 3 or 4 hours, so that we can understand whether any one of them is developing symptoms, and we can take them for testing, and we can treat them and isolate them. In that way, we can contain the disease up to an extent.
And cases in Maharashtra are also increasing. According to Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, total confirmed cases of coronavirus there reached has 1,761. A total of 208 have been cured and discharged, while 127 deaths have been reported in the state of Maharashtra. My colleague Shishir Shehar gave us this ground report a while back. He's filed this report. Take a look.
Maharashtra has witnessed the maximum number of corona positive patients, and that's the reason the state government is taking various steps to curb these numbers. Yesterday, the Maharashtra Chief Minister had made the announcement that now the lockdown will continue in Maharashtra till 30th of April, looking at this entire situation here. He also hinted out that probably state government may take some of these stern action, especially at those areas where the corona positive patients have already found in large numbers. The state government, as you said, that they already made a containment zone here, and Dharavi is also now on the radar of the government, because since last couple of days you have seen here that the number in Dharavi, the corona positive patients have increased in Dharavi, and that's the reason the government have made action plan so that they have already deployed a big team of doctors at Dharavi. At the same time, the BMC, the municipal corporation, will sanitize the entire Dharavi slum area. The government is also deploying the health teams at various locations where corona positive patients were found. So far, nearly 17 lakh people, the government have traced them. DD News, Mumbai.
More news. In view of Supreme Court's directions regarding welfare of migrant laborers housed at relief shelters, relief camps in different parts of the country, Union Ministry of Home Affairs has written to all states and union territories to take necessary action in compliance of the directions of the court while implementing lockdown measures to fight COVID-19 effectively. The court directed that adequate medical facilities, besides proper arrangements for food, clean drinking water and sanitation, be ensured for migrant workers at relief camps and shelters across the country. Furthermore, trained counsellors and or community group leaders belonging to all faiths should also visit the relief camps, shelter homes, and also deal with any situation that the migrants are facing, might be going through. The court also observed that the anxiety and fear of the migrants should be understood by the police. They should take care of it, and other authorities, and that they should deal with the migrants in most humane manner. Now, PIB fact-check team has dismissed a claim which says that COVID-19 can be spread by pets, such as cats and dogs. The fact remains that there is no evidence whatsoever that such transmission of coronavirus is even possible or taking place through pets. PIB has requested people to not to panic and not really fall prey to such rumors. Union Health Ministry had also shared video in this Twitter account last month that there is no evidence to support that pets can transmit COVID-19. The fact remains that there is no evidence that pets can transmit COVID-19 infection. And now it's time to take a look at the news related to COVID-19 across the globe. Well, we know that more than 1.9 lakh people have died worldwide from the coronavirus, with nearly 70% of all fatalities reported in Europe. Data compiled by Johns Hopkins University showed that the global death toll is at just over more than 100,000, and the number of confirmed cases worldwide stands at more than 1.7 million. More than 4 lakh and 2,000 recoveries have been recorded so far, while United States has registered highest number of COVID-19 deaths after surpassing Italy's COVID toll. In UK, total death toll has crossed 10,000 mark. Prime Minister Boris Johnson, the good news is that he has made good progress after coming out from the ICU. Also, world is celebrating Easter amid coronavirus fears. On the eve of Easter, Pope Francis celebrated late-night mass vigil in empty St. Peter's Basilica. He urged people to not yield to fear and focused on the message of hope and the coronavirus pandemic, and called for an end to wars. The vigil, which normally takes place in a church packed with about 10,000 people, was attended by only about 2 dozen, including a few altar servers and smaller than usual choir. The United States surpassed Italy on Saturday as the country with the highest reported coronavirus death toll, recording more than 20,000 deaths since the outbreak began. The grim milestone comes shortly after the US became the first nation to record more than 2,000 virus deaths in a single day. Meanwhile, another 783 people across New York died from the coronavirus in the past 24 hours. Shifting focus to North Korea, where North Korea's official news agency KCNA today released still photographs of leader Kim Jong-un holding a political bureau meeting and overseeing military drills. North Korea called for stricter and more thorough countermeasures to ensure the safety of its citizens from the fast-spreading coronavirus outbreak at the meeting of the ruling party's Central Committee. The country has more than 500 people in quarantine but still had no confirmed cases yet, while Kim Jong-un oversaw a drill of its pursuit assault aircraft. The death toll in France has risen to 13,832, while France has recorded 93,790 confirmed cases of the virus, which is an increase of 3,114 in the last 24 hours. France has been in lockdown mode since March 17 in a bid to slow the spread of epidemic, with only essential trips allowed. In Bolivia, amid fears of possible coronavirus outbreak, inmates of a jail rioted to demand face masks and health care for them. The riots began soon after a sick inmate died, while earlier this week the government had announced that prisoners on low-level charges would be released as part of measures to control the pandemic. At least 275 coronavirus cases have been confirmed in Bolivia, with 20 reported deaths. Shifting focus to Italy, which has reported 19,000 deaths and more than 150,000 cases of the coronavirus till now, the country continued to see a slight decrease in numbers of people hospitalized and in intensive care. Deaths due to COVID rose by 3.2%, while the number of people who tested positive for the virus increased by 3.1%. Police checkpoints have been set up around major arteries in Milan, which is one of the most hardest hit regions in the country. Singapore's Ministry of Health has reported 191 new COVID-19 cases, bringing the total confirmed cases in the country to 2,299. The government has asked people to wear masks in public as from Sunday. All the new cases are locally transmitted, as the country has been witnessing a sharp surge in new cases recently. Singapore closed all non-essential workplaces and urged schools to conduct remote lecturing. And with that, it's time to wrap up this edition of #Tracking COVID-19. From me and my entire team, thank you so much for tuning